Hey everyone, welcome to the Quarter One Family video for fourth grade math. I'm your host, Stephanie Conlon, an elementary content specialist with the Learning and Teaching Department here in CMS, and I want to welcome you to our session today. By the end of our video, I'm hoping that you'll have some answers to these three big questions. What is your child learning in Quarter One? What does it look like? And what can you do at home to help? So I'm going to be going through three different units where we'll learn about each of these ideas, and we're going to start by looking at a broad overview of the first quarter. So in quarter one, we start with factors and multiples. A lot of language and vocabulary are introduced in this unit. And then we move into unit two with fraction equivalence and comparison. A lot of the work that fourth graders do build on the work they've done in third grade and build toward the work that they'll be doing in fifth grade. And then wrapping up quarter one, we have unit three, which is extending operations to fractions, and specifically that includes addition, subtraction, and multiplication. So after students explore factors and multiples using lots of hands-on experiences, language routines, and problem solving, now we jump into fraction equivalence and comparison. Like I said before, this work is building on their experiences from third grade and helps build up toward their work in fifth grade. So these are the types of tasks that students might be exploring in fourth grade during their work in this unit. Students in unit two are expected to use bar diagrams like we see here in the purple box to help us find equivalent fractions, number lines, and benchmark fractions to help us compare multiple fractions like you see in the orange box, and reason about problems like you see here in the white box using what they are knowing and learning in unit 2. So what does this look like? Well, I'm about to show you now.
So I wanted to bring us a task that would allow us to look at number lines, as students will be working with number lines quite a bit in Unit 2, and also give us two fractions where neither the top number called the numerator, 7 or 6, nor the bottom number, 8 and 5. These aren't the same. So in third grade, students work with either the same numerator or the same denominator, but in fourth grade, we extend that work past that point and we mix up the numbers for numerators and denominators. So the first thing I wanted to do was build out two number lines. For this number line, we're going from 0 to 1 whole, or 8/8. And I say it's 8/8 because we're jumping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 equal-sized jumps to get to 1, or 8/8. And here we have fifths. Notice that these start and stop at the same place because fourth graders learn that we have to use the same size whole or the same size number line distance in order to compare two different fractions. And this number line is in fifths. That means there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jumps to get to 1 whole. So the first thing I want to know is how close each of these fractions would be to 1. So that's one of those benchmark fractions I was talking about when I mentioned that orange box at the beginning of our Unit 2 video. How close am I to 1 whole? And for 7/8, we're right here. We're 1/8, one jump away from a whole. So this is where 7/8 would be on my first number line. Now for my second number line, it only goes to 5/5. So if we count from 0 by fifths, we have 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, 5/5. So the mystery here is, where do I put 6/5? Where does that even fit here? And the idea here for students is that when we work with fractions where the numerator is larger than the denominator, we want to extend past 1 whole. We need another jump that's the size of a fifth to get to 6/5. Another way to say this would be 1, and then 1 whole, and then a jump of 1 more fifth. So 2 ways to say this amount. So in this case, which is bigger, I can see that 6/5 goes past our 1 whole point. And so this fraction is bigger. It's more than 1. It's greater than 1. 7/8 is just 1/8 jump away. But 6/5 is actually 1 jump after a whole in fifths. So 6/5 is bigger than 7/8.
So knowing these strategies that are most helpful for students in comparing and generating equivalent fractions, here's a task that you can do at home with your student. Which is bigger, or which would you rather have? So you can turn this yellow, bright yellow, sticky note looking square in the middle of the screen here into maybe a task about cupcakes or pizza or anything else that your child is interested in. So which is bigger, or which would you rather have? 7/8 of something or 6/5 of something. And again, we have some helpful questions in the purple box. How are these fractions alike or different? What strategy could you use to compare them? And is there a different strategy you might use? We often ask students to think of more than one way to solve a problem. So the solutions are there in the green box to the right. And in this case, we're looking at 6/5 as being larger because 6 of 6 parts of 1/5 means you have more than one whole. And so the reasoning over here, the language we would want students to use, is also included. Thank you, families, for joining us for our mathematics family video. And thanks for partnering with us at home. We're confident that with your encouragement and support, our young mathematicians will gain a wealth of knowledge and develop a strong foundation in math this year. And for more elementary math resources, you can visit the CMS website. Thanks and have a great year.